Welcome to RPG PhD, where we dissect and reassemble the anatomy of storytelling in tabletop role-playing games. I'm Dr. Ben, your guide to crafting unforgettable adventures. Today we are continuing our series on campaign ideas that will have your players begging for more. Through this series, we are exploring George Pulte's The 36 Dramatic Situations, with this being part 2 of a multi-part series on how his dramatic situations can electrify your campaigns. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, you can check it out here. The 36 Dramatic Situations, authored in 1895, presents an extensive schema for classifying all conceivable dramatic scenarios encountered in storytelling or performances. It provides a wealth of inspiration for the creation of engaging stories and the exploration of human emotions and conflicts. So, let's continue our quest to elevate our narratives and engage our players in new and thrilling ways. Pursuit thrusts players into a relentless chase, whether they're the hunters or the hunted. From fugitives evading capture for crimes of passion to heroes standing against oppressive powers, this dramatic situation is ripe for tension and action. Imagine your party being pursued across vast lands, their every step shadowed by a relentless enemy. Or perhaps they're the ones on the tail of a villain, unraveling clues and facing dangers to bring them to justice. Pursuit keeps the adrenaline pumping and the stakes high, perfect for campaigns that thrive on suspense and momentum. In Pursuit, we explore the dynamic interplay between the punisher or pursuer and the fugitive. This scenario is ripe for tension, suspense, and moral quandaries, making it an excellent backdrop for tabletop role-playing games, especially those that thrive on high stakes and deep character development. So let's look at some examples. The hunted heir. In a kingdom thrown into turmoil by a coup, the rightful heir becomes a fugitive, hunted by the usurper's forces. The players, as protectors of the heir, must navigate treacherous landscapes, dodge relentless pursuers, and gather allies for a counterstrike to reclaim the throne. This scenario tests the players' resourcefulness, loyalty, and commitment to a cause greater than themselves. The accused innocent. Wrongfully accused of a heinous crime, a character must flee their home and seek evidence of their innocence. The pursuit is not just by the law, but by bounty hunters and those personally wronged by the crime. The players must unravel the mystery of who the true criminal is while evading capture and confronting their accusers. This narrative explores themes of justice, redemption, and the lengths one will go to clear their name. The relentless bounty hunter. One of the players carries a secret past that comes to light, attracting the attention of a legendary, relentless bounty hunter. This adversary's pursuit forces the party to make difficult choices, stand and fight, using all their cunning and resources, or run, leading the danger away from innocent lives. The scenario delves into the powers of the past over the present and the nature of true atonement. The forbidden knowledge. The players possess knowledge or an artifact dangerous to a powerful organization or entity. As they are pursued across the world, they must decide what to do with the knowledge. The pursuit challenges their beliefs about power, responsibility, and the sacrifices they're willing to make to protect or expose the truth. The enemy within. The pursuit comes from within the group when it's revealed that one of the players has been marked by a dark power, making them a target for all manner of dark creatures. The group must protect their friend while seeking a way to remove the curse, leading them into forbidden lands and dark pacts. This scenario explores the themes of friendship, the cost of power, and what it means to be a true ally in the face of unimaginable danger. Each of these examples showcases how the pursuit scenario can create a campaign filled with urgency, moral decisions, and deep character arcs. By engaging with the primal thrill of the chase and the complexities of being pursued or pursuing, game masters can craft unforgettable stories that challenge players to think critically, act decisively, and explore the depths of their characters' convictions. Disaster confronts characters with the aftermath of catastrophe, whether through defeat, the destruction of a homeland, or the collapse of a society. This dramatic situation offers a backdrop for campaigns centered on survival, rebuilding, and resilience in the face of overwhelming odds. Whether it's navigating the ruins of a once great civilization, struggling against the chains of an unjust conqueror, or rallying the remnants of humanity after a natural disaster,
Disaster forces players to confront their characters' deepest fears and greatest strengths. Disaster brings to the fore the dramatic potential of catastrophe and downfall, presenting players with scenarios that challenge their resilience, morality, and ingenuity. This situation, characterized by the fall of a person of power or the occurrence of a catastrophic event, can serve as a pivotal moment in tabletop role-playing games, driving home the themes of hubris, fate, and the struggle for survival or redemption. Here's some examples. The fall of a kingdom. Imagine a campaign set against the backdrop of a kingdom's sudden descent into chaos, triggered by a natural disaster or the death of a monarch. The players, as nobles, advisors, or heroes of the realm, must navigate the political upheaval, protect the vulnerable, and perhaps even step into roles of leadership to rebuild or forge new paths for the shattered kingdom. This scenario explores themes of leadership, sacrifice, and the question of what it truly means to rule. The curse unleashed. A long-dormant curse is accidentally unleashed by the players, bringing calamity upon the land they were sworn to protect. As famine, plague, or unnatural storms ravage the countryside, the party must seek out a way to reverse the curse. This journey can take them into the realms of ancient gods, through trials that test their worthiness and force them to confront the consequences of their actions and the true cost of undoing their mistake. The city under siege. A once prosperous city falls under siege, trapping the players inside its walls. As resources dwindle and morale plummets, the players must choose their roles in this scenario, leading the defense, negotiating for peace, or finding an escape route for the innocents. The siege scenario allows for a deep dive into the psychology of trapped populations, the desperation that can lead to both heroism and treachery, and the sacrifices required for survival. The betrayal of the gods. The players discover that the pantheon they worship is not only real, but has decided to abandon or even punish humanity. With the divine protection gone, the world begins to fall apart and ancient threats awaken. The players must navigate a world losing its faith, confront or appease the gods, and perhaps find a new source of hope for humanity. This scenario explores themes of faith, the power of belief, and the search for meaning in a seemingly indifferent universe. The environmental cataclysm. A campaign focused on the aftermath of an environmental disaster such as a massive flood, volcanic eruption, or an ice age descending upon the land. The players must lead the efforts to save communities, find sustainable solutions, and perhaps confront the cause of the disaster, whether it's natural or the result of magical hubris. This scenario highlights themes of environmental stewardship, adaptation, and the interconnectedness of all living beings. Each of these examples demonstrates how the disaster scenario can create compelling narratives that push players to their limits, forcing them to confront the fragility of the worlds they inhabit and the strengths found in unity, resilience, and the indomitable will to rebuild from the ruins. Through this dramatic situation, game masters can craft experiences that leave lasting impressions, inspiring players with stories of catastrophe, recovery, and the enduring hope for a brighter future. In falling prey to cruelty or misfortune, characters are subjected to the whims of fate or the malice of others. This situation offers a canvas for stories of injustice, suffering, and the quest for redemption or relief. From the innocent entangled in political schemes to the favored and intimate who find themselves cast aside, players must navigate a world that is often unfamiliar and cruel. It's a powerful setup for exploring themes of hope, perseverance, and the human spirit's indomitable will. In falling prey to cruelty or misfortune, we delve into narratives that emphasize vulnerability, resilience, and the capacity to endure and overcome. This scenario, revolving around an individual or group suffering due to malevolence or unfortunate circumstances, can serve as a powerful foundation for tabletop role-playing games, exploring themes of injustice, survival, and the quest for redemption or relief. Here are some examples. The plight of the dispossessed. Players find themselves unjustly stripped of their titles, lands, or rights, rendered outcasts or fugitives by a corrupt authority or a malevolent rival's schemes. The campaign can revolve around their efforts to survive, regain their standing, and seek justice against those who wronged them. This scenario explores themes of identity, loss, and the fight to reclaim what is rightfully theirs against overwhelming odds. ensnared by the wicked. A once trusted mentor or leader reveals their true malevolent nature, ensnaring the players in a web of lies, manipulation, or dark magic. Forced into dire situations against their will, the group must navigate a path of moral ambiguity to free themselves, potentially making sacrifices or forging uneasy alliances. This narrative digs deep into the themes of betrayal, the nature of evil, and the strength required to break free from manipulation. The curse of misfortune. The players become the targets of a powerful curse, bringing them endless misfortune and suffering. Whether cast by a spurned deity, a vengeful mage, or as the result of an ancient family curse, they must undertake a quest to lift it. The journey to break the curse can lead them through haunted lands, into the depths of their own fears, and force them to confront the source of their misfortune. This scenario examines themes of fate, the power of curses, and the lengths individuals will go to for relief. The innocent accused. In a case of mistaken identity or wrongful accusation, a player or a loved one is condemned to suffer a cruel fate. The party's quest to prove their innocence or to save their loved one pits them against a rigid and unjust system, challenging their notions of justice and their ability to change a corrupt system from within or dismantle it entirely. This narrative explores the cruelty of false accusations, the desperation of the wrongfully persecuted, and the resilience needed to fight for justice. The desolation of war. Caught in the crossfire of a war that ravages their homeland, the players must navigate the horrors and hardship brought on by the conflict. As refugees or survivors of a decimated community, they face the cruelty of war's consequences, from starvation and disease to the loss of family and friends. This scenario allows for a poignant exploration of war's toll on humanity, the struggle for survival in its aftermath, and the quest for peace and healing in a shattered world. Each of these examples demonstrates the depth and complexity the falling prey to cruelty or misfortune scenario brings to RPG campaigns. By confronting the darker aspects of existence and the capacity for cruelty and suffering in their worlds, game masters can lead players through emotionally charged narratives that challenge their characters to grow, adapt, and perhaps even turn their misfortunes into sources of strength. Revolt stirs the pot of rebellion, pitting the tyrant against the conspirator. Imagine a campaign where players are part of a secret society planning to overthrow a despotic ruler. Whether it's a solo mastermind influencing others or a collective uprising, Revolt challenges players to strategize, gather allies, and possibly face moral dilemmas. This situation is perfect for campaigns where the journey from oppression to freedom is central, offering rich ground for character development and testing players' commitment to their cause. Revolt encapsulates the essence of rebellion against tyranny, the overthrow of repressive regimes, or the internal struggle against an unjust ruler with oneself or one's community. For tabletop role-playing games, it opens a vast arena for narratives rich with conflict, strategy, and the quest for freedom, offering players the chance to engage in stories of defiance and liberation. Here are some examples. The rebellion against the crown. Players are drawn into a brewing rebellion against the tyrannical monarch whose rule has brought nothing but misery and oppression to the land. They must navigate the delicate politics of forming alliances, inspiring the common folk, and perhaps even taking up arms to lead the charge. This scenario delves into themes of leadership, the cost of freedom, and the moral quandaries of revolution. The uprising of the upper class. In a city where the divide between the wealthy and the poor has reached its breaking point, the players find themselves at the heart of an uprising. Whether they are instigators or reluctant participants, they must face the consequences of their actions, from the chaos of street battles to the potential for a new societal order. This narrative explores the dynamics of power, class struggle, and the price of change. The mutiny at sea. Aboard a ship under the command of a cruel and despotic captain, the crew, taken to their breaking point, stages a mutiny. Players must decide where their loyalties lie, navigate the treacherous waters of leadership in a lawless environment, and determine the course of their destiny. This scenario examines themes of authority, loyalty, and the pursuit of justice on the high seas. The revolt against the gods. In a world where deities directly rule over mortals, the players become the leaders of a revolt against divine tyranny. Challenging the very gods themselves, they must find ancient artifacts, rally believers and non-believers alike, and perhaps even ascend to a higher power. This grand narrative allows for exploration of faith, the nature of power, and what it means to defy fate itself. The Machine Uprising. In a futuristic or steampunk setting, the players are caught in the middle of a revolt by sentient machines against their human creators. Whether fighting for humanity, siding with the machines, or seeking a peaceful resolution, players will explore themes of consciousness, the ethics of creation, and the possibility of coexistence between man and machine. The Personal Revolt. A character-driven scenario where one or more players must confront and rebel against their own personal demons, oppressive family expectations, or a society that refuses to accept their true selves. This intimate revolt requires players to engage in self-discovery, challenge deeply ingrained beliefs, and ultimately find their place in the world. Each of these examples showcases how the revolt scenario can be adapted to create compelling, thought-provoking campaigns that challenge players to question authority, fight for their beliefs, and explore the complexities of rebellion. Through these narratives, game masters can guide their players through epic tales of defiance, sacrifice, and the relentless pursuit of freedom. Through these 4 dramatic situations, we see the vast spectrum of human emotion and conflict that can be harnessed to create gripping RPG campaigns. Each situation offers a unique lens through which to view our narratives, challenging us to push the boundaries of our storytelling. As we continue the series, I encourage you to weave these situations into your campaigns, experimenting with their potential to evoke deep emotional responses and unforgettable adventures. Please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments section below, and if you find this content useful, like, share, and subscribe. It is much appreciated. Until next time, keep crafting those stories and exploring the endless possibilities of your RPG world. Join us next time where we will explore more dramatic situations that can help you and your RPG campaigns. Thanks for watching. See you next time.